All right. Well, my number three is the first mentioning of a Zeppelin album. So I literally just bought this today.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
So I wasn't gonna pick Physical Graffiti because although I do think that's probably a better album, I knew someone else was gonna pick it. So I went Led Zeppelin 4 because I mean, look, it has some of the most popular Zeppelin songs on it by far, right? Like the first the first four songs.
First side.
First whole side.
First side.
Yeah, the whole first side is like some of their biggest hits.
Yeah.
But it's also like from a nostalgic standpoint, this has huge nostalgic vibes for me because going back and just, growing up, I mean, this was on our house all the time, all the time. Steve listened to it. You listened to it.
Yeah.
I mean, this and like ZZ Top, I remember two big bands that were always on. So, but yeah, I mean, it's Zeppelin. You can't really go wrong.
The whole album's fantastic.
And yeah, it is from start to finish. That is one thing. Like there are some Zeppelin albums where I'm like, okay, that's
yeah.
But every song on this album is great. Like there's not a single song, even Stairway to Heaven. It's overplayed as fuck, but
yeah, what a great song though.
Is amazing. Like the second half. I mean, it's a whole song is great, but even the second half is just God. When the drums kick in, that solo at the end, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's like a perfect song.
Yeah.
When the levee breaks.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I'll play a little bit of that first because
we've talked about these drums before.
That drum beat, yeah. Paul's Boutique.
Yeah.
Arguably the greatest rock drummer ever, right?
Arguably. I think he's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those bands where the heaviness comes from the drums a lot of times,
Yeah.
Like they don't have a lot of heavy riffs, but I mean they have some, but like a lot of it's just that pounding bass drum and just how big his drum sounds.
Absolutely.
Well, let's play let's see. I mean, God, every song I could play, but I mean, I guess I should play some of this. Some of the bigger hits.
This is like a Cadillac commercial song now or something.
I know. Yeah.
Listen to that kick drum, though.
I know.
It's constant.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not sure if he's hitting it with the snare beat, too. Probably. Why stop? Unless you need a little bit of rest in there.
I think I hear it with it. I think the one song that like reminds me of childhood though might be this one.
Four Sticks.
No, Misty Mountain.
Misty Mountain.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Four Six is interesting because it's the whole song. The drums are just like
yeah.
The cool riff too.
Yeah.
Shit, I'll play that too.
Yeah.
Jumping all around.
It's gonna be the whole album.
We should. I mean, once we now are almost in the twos, we can play a little more.
Yeah.
But those the drums the whole fucking time, just
yeah,
tom and bass drum. Yeah, I mean this album just I don't know.
The Battle of Evermore.
I can picture myself in my loft bed playing this on tape
Yeah.
when I go to sleep at night. Like
Yeah.
it was basically 3 albums I listened to every night when I went to go to bed when I was young. It was this, I'm sorry, Van Halen 4, or 1984, not a Van Halen, Van Halen 1984, and Power Slave by Iron Maiden. Like I had tapes of those three, and it was just like for like a year that was all I listened to.
That's another album I got to get for Christmas.
Yeah.
Power Slave and Marvin Gaye. All right.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so I'm still up, right? So
Ride the Snake.
Oh, wait, before you go on.
no, number two.
Wait a minute, before you do that.
Yeah.
There 3 songs were recorded at that session where they recorded 4. And they're not on the album. Down by the Seaside, Night Flight, and Boogie with Stu.
Wow.
They might come up again.
They might.
But they were recorded with that album.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Interesting.
So it is interesting. Huh, okay. Well, my number 2 is a band that we've talked about already, but and this is funny too, 'cause I just recently bought this one as well. I haven't even opened it yet either, but yeah, Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had to pick it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been on mine, but I was like, you go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
See, all 3 of you were like conspiring and like talking behind my back.
No, I just assumed somebody would. I was like, someone's picking that one.
Did you pick it, Tim, at all?
Dark Side?
Did you pick? Yeah.
No.
Oh,
But
I picked
thought
Pink
you
Floyd.
said that you do
I
have
did pick
Floyd.
Yes, it's just not the Wall and not Dark Side.
okay.
So we're gonna have 3 different Floyd albums in there.
I have an idea which
All right.
it is, but okay. Well, I mean, we had a whole episode about this album, but yeah, I think this is collectively is my favorite Pink Floyd album, which it's not. I think that's consensus for a lot of people. Like this album, just from start to finish, is just a masterpiece.
I think it's still on the charts.
Yeah,
I mean, it was the longest. I mean, is there anything come close to it?
Well, they just re-released it, so
Yeah.
it should be.
It's back on the charts.
Yeah.
Oh, this would have been what, 73? Was last year it came out or this year? 73.
73.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what else there's to say. I mean, we covered this album. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to the episode we did about this album. But
Link in the bio.
Yeah.
That's
there you
right.
go.
I mean,
Link in bio.
Suffice it to say, we're not the only ones to put this on the greatest of the 70s list.
Right. Yeah, there were. I mean, when we did the feedback from other people, obviously that was mentioned quite a lot as well.
Yeah.
It's up there, and it's for good reason. I mean, Time. I think I'll play a little bit of that because Time, that solo in Time, and Joe and I talked about this, and it could be like one of the greatest guitar solos of all time. It's so good.
Stephen
I'll see if I can
Gilmore. I mean,
pinpoint. Yeah. So I can find it. There we go. I gotta fade it out. I want to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
We got a lot to go.
Again, one of the albums, when you fucking start that thing,
yeah.
you listen to track 1 to the end, and seriously,
Yeah.
like it's an experience.
With
It's
headphones.
an album. Yes.
Yeah, with headphones. Yeah.
Yeah, listen to every fucking sound that's coming out because it's all there intentionally.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant.
And on record too, it's great because there is kind of a like side 1, side 2,
Mhm.
and it really they flow so perfectly. Like especially the last 4 songs, Us and Them, Any Color You Like, Brain Damage, Eclipse, like those flow. obviously the last three flow right into each other. Like Brain Damage and Eclipse is basically one song. But it's an experience. You got to listen to it, the whole album. You can't pick Money might be one you could pick because that was a single. But I do want to play a little bit of just the way this whole thing.
Yeah.
This gives me chills every fucking time.
It's amazing.
All that you touch and all that you see, all that you taste, all you feel, and all that you love, and all that you hate, all you distrust,
You see that?
all you say, and all that you give, and all that you deal, and all that you buy, beg, borrow, or steal, and all you create, and all you destroy, and all that you do, and all that you say, and all that you eat, and everyone you meet, and all that you slight, and everyone you fight, and all that is now.
It goes on for another minute. I would love to listen to the whole thing,
Yeah.
but it's got to fade that out. Oh, it's so good.
I mean, yeah. How is that not a number one? Or, I mean, maybe it will be.
Maybe it will be. Well, yeah, my number one is obvious. So
Yeah, I mean, this was tricky
yeah.
picking these. But
Well, I'll move on. to
What
Joe's.
number that was number
That was
two?
three
was
for
two.
him. Oh, that was two for you. Oh.
I did 3 and 2, so I did 3, and then I just moved on to 2. So we'll go to Joe's number 2.
No, mine. Oh, yes. Joe's number 2.
Joe's number
gotta
2.
ride the snake.
All right, 1975. We're going far,
thank you.
far away from where Led Zeppelin is from. Actually, not that far at all. It's Black Sabbath, and the album is Sabotage,
Nice.
Somebody had to.
1970.
Yeah.
Somebody had to put Sabbath on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, another, and it's, maybe you guys did this too. Another thing I kind of decided was I don't want to repeat bands on my own lists, so I could have probably had
I was wondering
at
if anyone was
least
going to
two
do
Sabbath
that.
albums.
Yeah.
in this.
You keep, I mean, that's kind of
Um,
silly.
Because we could always do another top 5.
Yeah,
down
if we
the
did like
road.
a top 5 of the 80s, I wouldn't put like Metallica.
Yeah,
Iron Maiden,
I know.
Iron Maiden.
You would. Shut up. You would.
I'd want to, but I wouldn't.
I mean, those are the top 5 albums.
Yeah.
Top 4.
Right.
They're the top 5 albums of all time, Eric.
What is this?
The
This is
EP. Yeah, you're right.
This is their 6th album. And so I knew I was going to have some Sabbath on the list, and initially it was going to be Master of Reality, because I think that was my first Sabbath album I ever got, and it's really heavy, especially for like 1973 or whenever it came out, 1972. I guess it was 3. They were putting out albums like every year. It 2 in 1970, so pretty prolific back then. But and that album's got a lot of famous songs on it. I think Children of the Grave, Sweet Leaf are some of them. Whereas Sabotage, I don't know. This is the one I ended up picking. Obviously, I don't know if you guys recognize the tracks as like being big. Well, maybe you would.
I see
like Hole in the Sky,
Well,
Symptom of the Universe.
yeah.
I think those are
Those are the
big.
2 I recognize. Yeah.
Yeah, Megalomania was covered by Venom on one of their albums. That's a fantastic song.
9 minutes. Jesus.
The first part of the song is just kind of trippy, weird
Oh, okay.
70s druggy stuff, but then it really kicks in and it's awesome.
Well, wait a
But,
minute. The Sabbath was never into that kind of thing, were they?
Sweet Leaf. What?
Yeah, this album
Has there ever been a
This
more
album's-
drugged out band than Sabbath?
This album's super heavy. I mean, obviously it's a heavy album. It's Black Sabbath in the 70s, but I think I liked that it just snuck up on me. And like Volume 4 was actually in consideration as well. I tried to stick with Master Reality, but this is just too good of an album. Yeah, if you want to skip ahead in Megalomania, that would be a good one to play. Symptom of the Universe, fantastic song. Yeah. Unless you want to hear Hole in the Sky, that's a great one too. It's heavy as shit.
Yeah.
Just go like halfway. Oh, even his voice is so good on this album. Bass.
Yeah.
Cowbell.
Oh, cowbell.
It's nice.
Ride the snake. Scan me.
Ah. Make it stop, Jimmy. Make it stop.
Hole in the Sky. You want to play a little bit of that?
Yeah.
Is that a chicken at the beginning? What the hell is that?
Every highest song ever.
I was gonna say, like, this is the birth of stoner rock right here.
I think we figured out that was on Paranoid somewhere in that album. Oh.
I'm looking through a hole in the sky. I'm seeing no one through the eyes of a lie. I'm getting closer to the end of the line. I'm living easy where the sun doesn't shine.
That's a good one.
Metallica covered that at their induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Did
It's good.
Pantera cover that too?
I feel like they might have.
Somebody did. One of the big metal bands covered that too.
You might as well play a little Symptom of the Universe too.
Yeah. Sepultura did that one.
Yeah. Yeah, Pantera did do Hole in the Sky too, by the way.
Okay, yeah. The drums there.
I know.
That is a heavy riff.
Yeah.
Take me through the centuries to supersonic years. Electrifying enemy is drowning in his tears. All I have to give you is a love that never dies. The symptom of the universe is written in your eyes.
Good. Here's a Hole in the Sky by Pantera. Their version. Pantera.
Oh, yeah.
I'll talk to a little bit.
I'm living free because the Rex never do. The synonyms of all the things that I say are just the riddles that are built in my head. Oh, in the sky.
Man, when Phil was in his prime, his voice was fucking amazing. Jesus.
Oh yeah, killer.
That year and a half.
Stop it.
He didn't last too long. Smoking, man, smoking it.
Yeah.
10-year
kills
run.
you.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on that one, Joe?
Nope.
All right. Keith.
All
Number two.
right. Here is the big one that's going to be difficult for the three of you.
Oh boy.
Miles Davis, Live Evil. Most everyone else is just screams about, from his fusion albums that Bitches Brew is the top of the line. It is, nothing can surpass the brilliance of that, and I love that album. Absolutely. For me, I don't know. Like, when we talk about Floyd, The Wall was the first thing I heard. Well, I heard Bitches Brew before I heard this, but this album has just always, I mean, when it comes to fusion, and not that any of the three of you guys listen to any fusion bands, but there's so much jamming to it. Like this album alone, 3 of the tracks are over 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
Almost 4. I mean, one of them's 15 minutes long, 3 of them are over 20. And then, then there's a 3-minute, a 5-minute, a 4-minute, and a 2-minute. It's like, huh? Why'd you put those on there? But one way or another, there is so much what would seem like improvisation going on, where and the themes like fluctuate. It is, you come up with a musical statement that is made, and you start jamming out on that, and all of a sudden, it's Miles Davis. He'll just do something, and next thing you know, the percussions are now playing a samba, and there's like jazz flute going on in Portugal somewhere. It's there is so much going on with all of his fusion. He set the standard that no one else could come close to, with the insanity that these things hit. But to me, this is my favorite of his fusion albums, and like, I fuck you all. I love it.
We didn't say
Even
that.
if you hate it. So, let's go ahead, just give a little taste. Here's the thing. Savad, the very first track. I want to listen to it at least, at what is it? 49 seconds is where the trumpet comes in. I'd love to hear it from the beginning to that. How many seconds are we allowed to hear?
Oh, I didn't really even keep track of that.
But before the
There's
lawyers
no
from
rule.
YouTube start, like,
There's no rule.
all right,
No.
we'll go ahead. Yeah, all right.
What is that instrument that sounds like a
A hiccup.
rubber duck or something?
Sounds like a hiccup.
Yeah.
They're like Tourette's.
Might be a guitar.
Could be.
That's some funky jizz. All right, that's a minute and a half. We're gonna have to
I mean,
fake that.
seriously, like that opening to an album to me is one of my favorites that exist. Like when I hear that opening, it's just like I am just dialed in and just fucking my head is exploding. I fucking love that track. And I'm sure once we got into like minute 5 and then minute 8 and then minute 12, all three of you would go take a dump. But one way or another, like
That minute 15 was a little much for me. So
oh,
Dump inducing.
Look at the name of the last song on that album.
oh, nice.
We got a bone to pick with you, Metallica.
Yeah,
What's the last song called?
Inamorata.
Oh shit.
did they have a song named that?
Last song on their most recent album is called Inamorata.
Well, it's probably. I mean, we
it's not
can play it.
26 minutes long. It's their longest song, but it's not 26 minutes long.
No.
And I imagine it doesn't have narration by Conrad Roberts at the end of it.
No,
Not that I know of.
that'll be interesting, but no.
I can't believe you missed the transition from Black Sabbath to this album. You didn't mention the Live Evil.
Oh.
Black Sabbath.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That was a good transition. Unintentional.
Yeah.
Well,
Pretty good.
speaking of that, though, this album, that's the thing about this, is it was a few of the tracks were composed in the studio, but the rest of this was actually put together by live recordings done at the Cellar Door in DC. This album, if Joe's been screaming about it, it's released in November of '71. Was recorded, let's see here, February and June in New York in a studio, and then recorded in December 19th, 1970 at the Cellar Door in DC. I thought there was more live performances, but one way or another, it's kind of a patchwork put together where they were jamming on things, and let's face it, it's Miles Davis is Miles Davis. He is, to me, that's the one thing. When I think about music, when I think about American musicians, the greatest that there ever will be to me is Miles Davis. No one is ever going to come close to the genius of that man. And so he pretty much had all of this recorded, kind of pulled something out from one recording and put it in with something that was recorded in the studio, whatever it was. He kind of patchworked it all together and ended up with this album. So I don't even know if anyone knows, what was live and what was studio or whatnot, but
yeah.
it's very much in the sense of the, at this point, in earlier bebop and combo fused into, the improvisation, time frame of jazz, which is when John Coltrane really excelled and became like the number one of that style. From that, all of a sudden, fusion kind of came out, and this is when you just have 20-minute songs where the musical phrasing transitions from like funk, like that sounded like, into almost no sound whatsoever, and then hits in this like weird ass like Congo line shit. It just goes crazy, and it's I mean, yes, I think I really at some point want to force all of you to listen to that entire album, or maybe Bitches Brew, because everyone else says that one's even better.
It's gonna be like a Skinny Puppy situation all over again.
I think you guys would hate it even more.
Oh my god.
How's that
yeah.
possible?
Oh, trust me, I love
I
this
don't know
album,
about
but
that.
I know you guys well enough to know that once all of a sudden it goes into some cool like jam and jive, and then all of a sudden sidetracks into like this weird thing where like the trumpet is just kind of barely making noise, and somebody's like doing timbala in the background, and there's jazz flute going on somewhere in Portugal.
Yeah.
But let's listen to Funky Tonk, the last minute of that. That's the one.
The last minute, okay.
Again, one of the 25-minute songs.
This is our new direction. We hope you like it.
Saucy Jack. Yeah.
Derek Smalls on bass. He wrote this.
Where's he from, Miles Davis?
Originally,
Yeah. Just curious.
States, but
Well, I know United States. I'm just like what?
born in Alton, Illinois, and raised in East St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
But he studied at Juilliard, and of course ended up joining. He was a part of Charlie Parker's band. But mentioning that the fact that he was actually a part of Charlie Parker's band. On this group of musicians includes John McLaughlin on guitar, not from the McLaughlin group, Jack Sejourné on drums, Herbie Hancock and Chick Corea from Return to Forever, Wayne Shorter and Joe Zwannell, both from Weather Report. I mean, it's just a laundry list of some of the biggest names that came out of 70s jazz and fusion that are, I mean, let's face it, Herbie Hancock, we all know from, numerous 80s jazz.
Oh, yeah.
So this thing is just so much talent on one stage. And I don't know what else I could say. If you guys want to jam out to more stuff, we could play a little of Salim. And that's the real, like, kind of, if you want to hear something different from what we've heard, just
This is like Disco Volante by Mr. Bungle.
I love that album, so fuck you.
No, I'm saying it reminds me of that. Like just weird shit.
Yes. Miles Davis did a lot of fucking.
How'd you discover this?
It's Miles fucking Davis.
Like, but I know, but like everyone knows the name, but like,
I mean,
did you?
to me, playing, playing out of fake books in jazz band. You end up playing. We played everything off of Kind of Blue, and Kind of Blue is to me the greatest album that's ever going to be written, composed. It is one of those albums that I can just put on and just kind of get back to myself, and just it's very grounding. Whenever I'm losing my fucking mind, I throw on Kind of Blue, and that's something that's just like, oh. But from that, I started, you listen to other Miles Davis albums, you get into Metallica, you're like, oh, okay, man, this Master of Puppets is great. Okay, let's see here. Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I guess that's going to be good too, huh? But, so you listen to like other stuff, and that's the thing about Miles Davis. He came out, when he was young, he ended up in Charlie Parker's band, Bird. At the time, Charlie Parker was the biggest star in all of music at the time, because let's face it, jazz and big band had kind of died out, but jazz was it, and Charlie Parker was the biggest name. He was a member. He was a trumpet player in Charlie Parker's band, and well, then Charlie Parker died. But one way or another, he ended up creating quite a name for himself over time. But he started off, playing combo, bebop, and then evolved more into the improv side of things. And that's the biggest thing. When it comes to Miles Davis, every single new kind of form that jazz music came up with, like, would do one thing, and then all of a sudden somebody would do something new. Like, I mean, let's face it, John Coltrane was his sax player. John Coltrane was the one who really revolutionized improv. Uh, but in every single case, it's just like somebody comes up with something new to do in jazz, and Miles Davis is like, "Excuse me, oh, hold on a second, let me make a phone call." And he calls up his boys. They go in the studio and create the greatest goddamn version of that genre of jazz that's ever going to be, created. You think about when all of a sudden people started fusing rock and, fusion exists. And then he just, okay. And he creates Bitches Brew. And it's just like fucking crap. Like no other fusion that, for the late 70s. I love Weather Report. I fucking will always love Weather Report. But none of their shit comes anywhere close. Return to Forever, eat my dick. Those guys are garbage compared to the shit that Davis did in the early 70s. I mean, anything that most jazz in the 80s was absolute and utter shit. Like, you guys have all seen La La Land?
No.
Oh, you guys should see it. Well, I guess if you don't like jazz, you probably all hate it. But one way or another, that's, when, what's his face? Gosling saved jazz, because that's what white people do. But the jazz that he ends up playing in that is 80s style, which is utter shit, where it's just like it's pretty much like glam rock jazz, where they're doing stuff like to look flashy and be like, ooh, and have somebody sing along to it instead of actually having, integrity, because, hair metal didn't have integrity. But that's, I guess, my tirade on Miles Davis and, his importance in modern music and the overall genre shifts that occurred within jazz itself. He is just, to me, the greatest American musician that will ever live.
Cool.
All right. We'll top that, Tim. You're number 2.
My number 2 is
AC/DC
Wish You Were
again.
Here. No, it's Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd.
That was going to be my guess. If you were going to pick another one, that would be the one.
I mean, I figured Dark Side was picked. I figured The Wall would be picked. So I was like, well,
Animals is great.
yeah. Wish You Were Here, though. If you look at the track listing,
Yeah.
wow.
It's funny. It's only 5 songs, but there are a couple songs that are very long.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Starts and ends with Shine On You Crazy
Shine On You
Diamond.
Crazy Diamond. Yeah. Yep. First
Well,
song is 13 minutes.
let's talk about that. The fact that this is one thing about Floyd, especially in this album, is that they take one concept, one theme, and then come back to it later on. It's kind of like a 2-part thing, but it's purposeful. Everything that happens in between those two ends, those bookends, so to speak, is intentional, and they want it to be where it is. It's thought out specifically, and it's brilliant that there's people that composed music like that within the 70s that weren't just trying to rock out with their cocks out.
Right. The song was written about Syd Barrett and his sort of descent into his mental health and whatnot.
Yeah, that's interesting. Is Shine On You Crazy Diamond parts 1 through 5 is the first track, and then parts 6 through 9 is the closer. So
I would title track.
Yeah, the title track is amazing.
I mean, let's face it, Dark Side has, allusions to him.
Yeah. Yeah, for
The Wall doesn't, I don't think, but I mean, let's face it, it's kind of also, it's about, Walter or Waters' descent into insanity, like for the most part, but he didn't actually go insane like Syd Barrett did.
He just struggled with stardom.
Yes.
Effectively. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you were to play the title track.
Yeah, I want to play a little bit of Shine On You Crazy Diamond, though.
Yeah.
I think that's play a little bit of that first, and then I don't know, we'll get to like here.
You shone like the sun. Shine on, you crazy diamond. Now there's a look in your eyes.
crazy. The first vocal in this song is at 8:46.
Oh my God.
Shine on, you crazy diamond. You were caught in the crossfire of childhood stardom, blown on the steel breeze. Come on, you target for faraway laughter. Come on, you stranger, you legend, you martyr, and shine.
Very good. But yeah, we'll play some of the the title track as well because that's probably the biggest hit on the album.
Yeah, that and Have a Cigar.
Yeah. Welcome to the Machine though is fucking awesome too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh God, that song's good. Okay.
So you think you could tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail, a smile from a veil?
This was 1975, by the way.
Yes.
Do you think you
Nope.
can tell? Did they get you to train your heroes for ghosts, hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool breeze, cold comfort for change? Did you exchange a walk-on part in the war for a lead role in a cage?
Yeah, great song.
So who's that singing?
That was David
That was
Gilmour.
David Gilmour. Yeah.
It's not.
What?
That's Roy Harper singing.
You sure?
You serious, Clark?
Yeah. Yeah.
Were you able to make it good, Fetty?
Okay.
They brought in some guy that's not in the band to sing that.
That's weird.
That sounds just like David
But they
Gilmour.
have
That's really
people in
weird.
the band that can sing.
2 guys.
Matter of
The
fact,
whole song is him?
they wrote that.
Because there's a little part there that
Roy Harper, lead vocals on Have a Cigar.
that was that was not Have a Cigar.
Oh, that's
that was
right.
Wish-
I'm sorry.
That was Wish
That
You
was
Were
Wish
Here.
You-
You're wrong, motherfucker.
Well, now you gotta have a cigar.
Have a Cigar. I can hear that. Yeah.
I've never heard their version of this.
What?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, I have.
You've heard this.
Yeah,
you definitely
there's
heard
no
this.
way you haven't.
Yeah.
Well, I've not heard this whole album before.
Okay.
Really?
For sure.
Really
Yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah. Although I guess I've heard all the songs on it, so
Probably.
Yeah.
just out of order.
You may have not
Yeah.
heard all of Shine On.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Yeah.
You may have heard some of it, but yeah.
Let's play some of Welcome
No,
to the Machine because
yeah,
I should probably listen to this at some point.
You
Oh,
should.
wait,
With headphones.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's quite evident from this episode that people should listen to more Pink Floyd. I mean, all of it.
Well, Have a Cigar was probably the song I knew best on this because of
The Primus.
covers of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Foo Fighters did it too, I think, right?
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know if I've heard that.
Didn't they do it on the one that's got the meat on the cover?
Meat. I don't know.
Who, Primus or
No. Foo
Foo Fighters.
yeah, this song is great.
I don't. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Oh, love that chord.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love how slow it's played.
Yeah.
Welcome, my son. Welcome to the
Mm.
machine.
Might be. I mean, this is almost industrial.
Yeah.
No, exactly. That this is the beginning of industrial. I mean,
Yeah.
I love the stereo.
Yeah. I should probably stop.
It's hard to just turn off.
So good.
but
I know.
God,
There's a
it's so
build
good.
up in that song where it's like that synth build up, like oh, yeah, really good.
The album's called Medium Rare. That's why they got a big thing of meat on the cover.
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting.
You don't
I don't know
remember
if
that
I've
album?
heard that.
It was all covers.
No. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard that album.
Huh.
Quite frankly. I've never heard this.
No, never heard this.
too fast. It doesn't have the.
Yeah.
They're trying to rock hard
Yeah.
instead of.
That's Taylor Hawkins singing?
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, it's definitely not Dave.
No.
That's gotta be Taylor Hawkins singing.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
You should
mean,
play the.
okay.
Might as well play the Primus version if you're gonna do that. I mean,
Yeah.
at this point,
Yeah.
a little bit of it.
Come on,
Yeah.
do it, Eric.
All right. I'm
Do
getting
it.
It is good.
Oh yeah.
Now.
This is the first time I heard this song for sure. I heard this before
Didn't
the
they-
Floyd version.
Oh yeah. Didn't they
Oh, yeah.
cover a Metallica song on this thing too?
Thing that should not be, I believe.
I thought, yeah.
Very Primus.
Oh yeah. Get some vocals. Of course, I skipped right through them. Brilliant. All right, we should move on. Look at all of our number ones to talk about. So.
Yeah.
Oh, here we are. The
Yep.
number
So
one.
Tim starts.
My
Wait,
number one.
I have a prediction that Tim's number one and mine are the same.
Me. That's what I was gonna say. I think mine and
yeah,
I
John's
think
think
so.
it might be. So we can do these
Is it?
together, I guess.
Yeah. I buried it over here. Hang on. Here it is.
But I realized they didn't have all the records. I couldn't
Are the
find all my
initials-
vinyls.
E Yeah, PG. It's the physical graffiti.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. With all the pictures on the front and stuff.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite Zeppelin album as well. That's why I
Yeah.
purposely didn't pick it.
I know. Yeah.
I figured someone else would.
Yeah, you were right.
Yeah, it's a ridiculously good album. Also, 1975.
No, that's right. It's weird because
Yeah.
when you think
That's-
about Zeppelin, you don't
that's
think of that album
375.
first. But when you look at the track list and you go, "Oh shit!
Yeah.
I know.
What?"
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so good that you. I mean, Joe and I were talking about this, but it's so good that you forget Cashmere's on it.
Okay.
You're like, "Oh, that's on here too." Well, that makes sense.
It's just a track on there. You know,
Yeah.
no big deal.
Yeah.
In
It's
My
one of the
Time of
most famous
Dying,
songs ever.
House of the Holy, Trampled Underfoot. That whole first side is, I mean, the whole album's great, but that whole first side is ridiculous. Good Lord.
In the light.
Mm-hmm. 10 years
Mhm.
gone. Good
Yeah.
Lord.
It opens up with a funky custard pie. You
Yeah.
must really like pie.
Custard
If you take,
pie.
like-
He likes the
if you take
with custard around it.
If you just take the lyrics like literally, it makes the album more enjoyable.
Well,
he
it
really loves
also-
desserts. He really likes to fix his car on one of the songs.
It's like the whole squeeze my lemon until the juice runs down my leg.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
He likes to squeeze lemons too. And
I
Likes to
mean,
have
you
his lemon
realize, but he's
squeezed.
doing that to 13-year-olds. It's
oh God.
Well, I think that's the age of consent in 1970s London or England.
no.
Oof.
And you're, kidnapping them into Hawaii? What did he do?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he did it. He was definitely Jimmy Page, and he, yeah.
Well, he's the least best part of this album, so there.
All right.
In My Time of
Okay,
Dying
so-
would be a nice place to start. You could
Yeah.
play something.
Sure.
He had that groovy part with the drums.
Dude, once that song gets rolling, the drums are insane. Oh, yeah.
We
Love
talked
that
about
move.
this before because it's the damage
Mr. King.
riff. Yeah.
That offbeat, off-time snare.
Yeah. Yeah.
The song's 11 minutes long.
I know.
Blind Willie Johnson gets us a writing credit on that one for the words.
Interesting.
They must have borrowed something.
The lyrics are old, like old blues lyrics.
Yeah. They did that a lot, that band. They would
The
steal
world's
some-
most famous cover band. I think
Yeah.
they say.
Oh man, there's so much we could play on this album. I mean,
Greta
the
Van
Rover,
Fleet.
Jesus, and Greta Van Fleet. Oh, Jesus, don't talk about them.
The Rover? Is that what you said? Yeah.
Yeah.
This was recorded for the Houses of the Holy album,
Huh.
as was the song Houses of the Holy.
That would
That's
make
why they had
sense.
so much material for the album. They took stuff that they had already recorded.
That's crazy.
And I haven't done any vocals yet, but there's
Yeah.
so much more we can play. I mean, Kashmir.
There's
That's wonderful.
I don't remember how to say it. Bronier.
Yeah.
Bronier. That was a Led Zeppelin 3 recording outtake.
Mm-hmm.
Call someone that's Irish or Welsh or something.
Welshish.
Something. One of those British things. Or not British things. Great Britain or United Kingdom things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just an instrumental, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Kashmir. We can play a little bit of that. You heard this song before? This has some weird tuning, right? Doesn't it?
Isn't it Dad Gad?
Probably. Something weird.
Let's see. Yeah, it's Dad Gad.
drums are so simple, but perfect.
Oh, but if you can find a live version, the end gets way better on drums.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he starts doing fills in those.
He probably got bored. If you play In the Light, that song is kind of the way it starts off. It's kind of weird.
Oh yeah.
This was in True Detective, right? That season 1 of True Detective. They played this.
Don't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty
It's
sure.
so
It was
long
in
since
that.
I've seen that show.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the best first seasons of any show ever.
Oh
though.
yeah, for sure.
Jesus Christ.
Carcosa.
This is one I need to get on vinyl for sure. I've seen it so many. I almost bought it at the Attic. It was in my hands, but I had
Yeah.
like 6 records in my hands.
Yeah.
And I would have spent $300 if I had bought every single record.
Yeah, I mean that's all these Zeppelin albums are so easy to get. You know, it's
Yeah.
whenever I see something in a record store, I'm always like, I want to do something that's kind of hard to come by.
Yeah. Okay, it's a minute 15. Let's see.
There's lyric, yeah.
Standing out in the cold. Hey, yeah, baby, I know how it feels 'cause I have slipped through to the very depths of my soul. Yeah. Oh, oh.
Going on with
I
Keith.
just want to show you
Hello.
what a clear view that is from every bend in the
Sneezing.
road.
Yeah.
We all got allergy attacks over here.
Oh, whoa, whoa. As I was relieving before you too, as you
I mean, here's that live version of Kashmir. Joe sent it to me. Let's see.
I'm guessing it's around 7 minutes.
Bonzo.
Lord.
Guy's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus. Oh. All right. Can we move on?
Yeah, move on.
That means it's
If you're ready there,
on.
Keith. If you're okay.
Yeah, you're all right there.
I'm not. I mean, I gotta tell you guys, my number one fucking castrates all three of you fucks because you guys got no standard, you got no intelligence, you guys don't know fucking music like I do. My number one,
fuck you.
eat my dick. You have no dick left, motherfucker, because this thing beats your fucking ass to shit. This album is easily, hands down, the best of the fucking
alive.
decade. From 1979, this is my soundtrack. Muppet movie soundtrack. I have fought depression. I have fought self-esteem issues. I have fought everything every day of my goddamn life. I'm not a happy person. Listening to this just puts me into a place where I can finally fucking just smile. This makes me happy. It's not
this have the
something
Rainbow
that's easy to
Connection on
do.
it?
Yeah. Oh, it's the
Yeah,
first
it's
track.
first song.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. I mean, you can't go wrong with that song, if nothing else.
Seriously, listen to the entire goddamn thing. This is, play a little Rainbow Connection. We're definitely listening to Moving Right Along. I want to. We're definitely going to hear "Never Before, Never Again" for my good friend Joe.
Who actually writes these songs? Do we know?
Paul Williams and
Kenneth Asher.
Not Kermit.
He's not real.
Performed by Kermit. But
Jim does not
actually
write.
written.
No.
Jim Henson.
But only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it.
Actually, some really good bass playing there.
Connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
Has a really good ending, that song.
Oh, yeah. But that's another thing.
Just the part where it's a little bit before that, but
Oh, okay.
Someday we'll find
Is that that little bridge thing?
I think so.
connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
Yeah. I like that part.
A huge thing for me on this album, like, all right, my main musical outlet was a band I was in, from 2000 to 2005, called The Overprivileged, but we were three-piece. And the one aspect of this that I really thought set us apart was that I and the guitarist split off vocals. So we'd have two absolutely different sounding people doing main vocals per song, or sometimes he'd do the choruses and I do the verses, or I'd do the verses and he'd do the choruses. I thought that really gave us an element. But every fucking time these days, for the past like 15 years, I hear Moving Right Along and I just want to ram my head through a wall. It's just like listening to that song is about touring. Like it's about, driving, not knowing what state you're in, driving to a town you're never even remember the name of, and just throwing it all out there. And like, how the hell we didn't cover this fucking song pisses me the hell off. Like, I love this song, and it makes much sense. If take a wild guess though, guys. Who would I be, Kermit or Fozzie?
I'm gonna say Fozzie.
Yeah.
You think? Yeah. Yes, but please play a little of Moving Right Along.
Moving right along.
I remember the song.
Oh yeah.
With good friends you can't lose.
The chorus.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
Yeah.
Opportunity knocks once, let's reach out and grab it.
Yeah.
Together we'll nab it.
We'll hitchhike, bus, or
Yellow Cabot.
Cabot.
Moving right along. Footloose and fancy free.
Getting there is half the fun. Come share it with me.
Moving right along.
We'll learn to share.
Dug-a-dum.
Yeah.
We don't need a map to keep this show on the road.
Hey, the song is sounding better, Fozzie. Moving right along. We found all right.
Yeah.
But let's play a little of. I hope that something better comes along. Start from the beginning.
Evening. You look like you could use a drink.
Rolf.
Yeah, I'd like a grasshopper, please. Hey, can we have a grasshopper for the frog? That's Kermit the Frog. Oh, Rolf the dog here. Pleased to meet you. I'm no Heifetz, but I get by.
To the lyrics.
Did I rewind it? No, I don't know what I did.
Does it show?
Listen, when you've been tickling the ivories as long as I have,
Here we go.
you've seen a broken heart for every drop of rain, a shattered dream for every falling star. Exactly. She just walked out on me. Yeah, typical. That's why I live alone. You do, huh? You bet. I finish work, I go home, read a book, have a couple of beers, take myself for a walk, and go to bed. Nice and simple. Stay away from women. That's my motto. But
This
I
is a
can't.
kids show.
Neither
I
can
know.
That's my trouble. You can't live with them. You can't live without them. There's something irresistible-ish about them. We grin and bear it 'cause the nights are long. I hope that something better comes along. I see what you mean. It's no good complaining and pointless to holler. If she's a beauty, she'll get under your collar. She made a monkey out of old King Kong. I hope that something better comes along.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, exactly. The whole like, I drink a few beers and then.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait, really? Rolf, what the fuck?
Goes for a walk, gets drunk, goes to
Wait.
bed.
Which one of you was doing heroin? Oh, it was that animal. All right. Oh no, he's on coke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's on
he's
coke.
on coke for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember we had which was a huge nostalgia thing for us, for me anyway. I don't know about you, Tim, but we had the John Denver and Muppets sing Christmas carols.
God,
yeah.
oh,
For sure.
That is on constant rotation. It'll probably starting this week or
John
after,
Denver, yeah. Anything John Denver in the 70s is pure nostalgia.
And it didn't end up on any of our lists, or maybe.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a favorite of mine.
He has
well,
like 5 or 6 really good songs.
I'd say more than that, but
Yeah.
hey.
Like really good.
Well, everything he did with the Muppets was fantastic because
Well,
it's the motherfucking Muppets.
True.
Castrated motherfucker. But one way or another, this album, just to, I would stress to listen to all of these fucking tracks because this is just a phenomenal movie. And it, seriously, as much as, let's face it, even, hope that something better comes along is about, Miss Piggy walking out on Kermit.
Yeah.
But, still brings a smile to your face because it's motherfucking Muppets. And, I love it.
Well, I'll ask you the same question you asked me about Star Wars. Did you get to experience showing this to your kids and seeing what that?
We have watched this movie. I mean, that's the whole thing. I don't think we made it all the way through it, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
The kids definitely loved Muppet Babies when they were younger.
Oh, yeah.
So they are familiar enough with that. We did attempt to watch, well, I guess we did watch the whole thing. There's a series that came out maybe 2 years ago. I think COVID fucked it up a bit, but there was a thing about Dr. Teeth and,
Okay.
the Electric Mayhem kind of getting
familiar.
back into recording again. And it was a good series, but wasn't, I mean,
yeah,
it was fun to watch, but it wasn't phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you guys, watched the one with what's his face from How I Met Your Mother,
Mm-mm.
the last Muppet movie.
I think I did watch that. Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal. That
Yeah, it was good.
That deserves a good, that deserves a watching, and they did a good job. Like, the thing with the Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem, good, but I don't think it's necessary. It's so crazy. Like last, I was just record shopping, if you can fathom, and I picked up a fuck ton of Mojo Nixon albums. They just all of a sudden there was 3 of them that I didn't own just sitting there. I'm like, okay, well, there we go. I'll take all of them. And I was like talking to the guy. I was checking out this. Is it Springfield Mall? It's records and rarities, I think is what it's called. But I'm just like, the one album that I have been trying to kind of snag is this soundtrack because it hasn't been produced in a while. And unfortunately, it's just like, yeah, I can't get it unless it's, something brand new, unless we have somebody come in to trade it in. Um, and it has not been produced. And unfortunately, that means that I have not managed to get a copy of it for myself. But
Yeah.
Have you looked on the Discogs?
oh, I have. And yes, I could easily get it from the Discogs, probably for $20, but
Yeah.
Does that not count if you do that one?
Oh, no. I mean, I could easily do that. I just haven't found when it comes to Discogs, I don't buy a single album. I buy at least two, if not three, just to make sure I can cut down on the shipping. And I need to find, someone that's got multiples that I want at the time. And no time have I run into this one being sold where it's got anything else that I want. But yes, this is my number one. I love the Muppets. I am not a happy motherfucker, and these guys make me happy. There's, very few other things in musically, uh, Godfather by Ned's Atomic Dustbin. Somehow that just puts a smile on my face. Virtually anything by Weird Al Yankovic, but more than any of those, this album I can throw this thing on and be a calm, happy person for a short period of time. And that's, it's better than any drug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Joe's number one we've already talked about, so I guess we move on to mine, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What could it be?
What could it be? I don't know. Yeah, it's LA Woman by the Doors. And I have this vinyl, which is like this kind of rare, I think, ish, but it's got like a translucent cover thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So take this out. Let's see. Ooh. Can't get it out. There we go. So like the sleeve is yellow. God, I can't get this right.
Man, you're going to destroy. There goes all the value of it. Dumbass.
I'm guessing you're backwards on your screen. So
What? No. Well, yeah,
No.
kind of. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, LA Woman by the Doors is my number one pick. I mean, it's not surprising to anybody if they know me. This is one of my favorite bands of all time. And this is probably my second favorite Doors album. So
Okay, so the first, their initial is number one?
no. Strange Days would be probably my number one.
All right.
Yeah, I love that album. I mean, it's tough because some of my favorite songs are on other albums, like 5 to 1 is on
Morrison Hotel.
no, it's not.
No.
It's
What the hell is the goddamn song?
Waiting for the Sun. Waiting for the Sun. Waiting for the Sun is a great album too, but it's got like 3 or 4 songs that I'm like, that I could do without, right? So, but as a complete album, Strange Days and this one, LA Woman especially, like it's close. This could be my favorite. I mean, there's not a song on this album I don't like. There's some lesser known ones that I really like Hyacinth House. Been Down So Long. Oh, I love that song. God. But yeah, I mean, 1971, I didn't mention that, but 1971 was their last album, last album with Jim Morrison. They actually did go on to record some other albums without him, which who's listening to that? But
Yeah.
and they had the American Prayer album, the poetry stuff that Jim Morrison did, where there was some more original music that they did for that as well. But this is the last, recorded album with Jim Morrison. So fantastic album. It's a good album too if you want to get into the Doors. I mean, you probably want to go back to the first album, but it's kind of like the Beatles, where the first album is pretty drastically different sounding than the later stuff, I would say. Because I think there's a lot of, especially if you went like if you what's the album? God, I'm blanking tonight. The one right before Morrison Hotel.
Not Soft Parade.
Yeah, the Soft Parade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I always thought that was the second to last one, but that's actually not. It's Soft Parade, then Morrison Hotel, then LA Woman. So yeah, Soft Parade's another one where it's like it's weird fucking shit where it's just like horn section and stuff like that. So, um, anyway, yeah, the Soft Parade was like they went into this weird, you know, weird stuff, and then they've like, well, let's get back to our roots, and they went and wrote Morrison Hotel. So, but which could have been on my list because it's 1970, but yeah, this one's a bit better. And Joe, I think that you'd like this. This is your favorite Doors album, isn't it? LA Woman.
Yeah, this definitely is.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard all their albums.
Okay.
At least not. Well, yeah, I don't think I have.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just don't remember. This is one that have played a lot, and I like it all the way through because I don't like the tripping through the daisies weird shit that they often do. I don't even like Light My Fire, that fucking instrumental part. It's like Jesus Christ.
That's one of their worst songs, quite frankly.
I wouldn't say it's one of their worst songs, but it's definitely it's
overrated.
Yeah, it's overrated, and I think a lot of people love it because it's kind of a love song, so to speak. But that's the whole thing. It's funny you mentioned when I first got into the Doors, and I think Eric, you and I kind of had the same thing. Like we didn't really know the Doors. Then that damn movie came out, and it was like,
oh yeah, that was it.
That was fucking good. I should listen to this band. And then then outside of the movie, you fucking listen to the albums. It's like, fuck. Holy crap! How did I not know this shit?
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. At the time, again, with the Columbus, Columbia Record House, snags. My roommate grabbed, I convinced him to do a pull of Columbia House, and so he got, I think he did Morrison Hotel and Strange Days and maybe one of the other ones. So I'm like, okay, you do those, and I got LA Woman, Soft Parade. Both of us, I think, got the original album.
Yeah.
You can, and of course, everyone had that goddamn 2 CD greatest hits. Fucking
the
album.
Greatest Hits. Yeah, everyone has that.
Who did not own that? Yeah. But so I had this, but to be honest, I still like their earlier stuff, which is, as you just stated, there probably was less pressure on them when they wrote these, that they were able to be more fluid and more, demanding about, putting their own fingerprints on it than the original stuff. Yeah. But
yeah, I would recommend Strange Days, especially for you, Joe. If you've never listened to that full album, I would go.
I think I've heard that one. I might even.
Yeah,
I might have that on vinyl actually.
Yeah, When the Music's Over, that's up there. One of my favorite Doors songs ever. Horse Latitudes into Moonlight Drive, those two songs back to back are so good too. But yeah, the song Strange Days, Prong covered that song.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. Love Me Two Times is on there. People Are Strange, of course, is on there. So yeah, that's a great album too. But LA Woman, let's get back to that. So
yes.
I'll play a few from this one. I want to play Been Down So Long just because the way it starts is so fucking great.
Well, I've been down so goddamn long that it looks like up to me. Well, I've been down so very damn long that it looks like up to me. Yeah, why don't one you people come on and set me free? I said,
this is also, I don't know if it was the first one, but they actually had a bass player in studio.
Yes.
Yeah. I was just about to mention that. Yeah, that's one of the things I loved about the album is that they have a bass guitar.
Yeah. They don't have. It's not just what's his name, just doing his left hand.
Ray Manzarek is normally got two keyboards. Well, he's piano and
organ
keyboard, But so yes, up until this point, maybe Morrison Hotel had him too.
I feel like there were a couple on that album that may have had bass also.
Yeah. But it was definitely well into the end of their, era that they finally had a bassist. And yes, They
I mean, this is
could have had a
I mean,
bassist all the way through.
tons of bluesy stuff on this album. I mean, Crawling Geek Snake, The Wasp, Texas Radio and the Big Beat.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Texas Radio and the Big Beat, that's cool. They have a Virginia reference in that song. Yeah.
Huh.
The Virginia Swamps or something like that.
Yeah.
But Hyacinth House, I want to play a little bit of that too. Because
All right.
much mellower song, but I do love this song.
What are they doing in the Hyacinth House? What are they doing in the Hyacinth House to please the lions? Yeah, this day. I need a brand new friend who doesn't bother me. I need a brand new friend who doesn't trouble me.
Morrison harmonized vocals. You won't hear that very often. It's good.
Yeah, that's
And there's
the
I
one,
mean, there's the big
the one
hits,
song
too.
on this that I've always hated is L'America.
L'America, yeah, that's the weakest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The album kicks off by kicking ass. The
Yes.
Changeling.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's got but that song's a little ruined for me now because we played that on the podcast once before, and it's got this like organ part that reminds me of that wrestling game, the Hang Ten, baby.
Oh yeah.
Do-do-do. Hang Ten. Do-do-do.
Oh yeah.
It gets worse though. It's like there it is.
There it is.
Yeah. Hang Ten, baby.
Yep.
But I never been so broke that I couldn't wait.
Great song though.
I'm ashamed, see me change. I'm ashamed.
I mean, the LA Woman, the title track. That's obviously Lover Madness.
Riders of the Storm.
Oh, Riders of the Storm.
Riders
yeah,
of the
duh.
Storm. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be the biggest hit. Yeah. Which I mean, even if you're not a big Doors fan, you gotta like that song, right?
Sure.
Like that's. Tim's like, sure, I do.
No. You're right. It is. No, I'm saying sure. Yeah. How could you not like that song?
Yeah, it's a great song.
Girl, you gotta love your man. Girl, you gotta love your man. Take him by the hand. Make him understand. The world on you
Anyway.
depends. Our life will never end.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say about this album, but that's my number one. It's definitely. my
I'll be
favorite from
honest.
that
I'm surprised
era.
the Doors did not make more lists.
I'm not.
I'm not.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I'm the
I'm
only one on the
surprised
podcast that-
Judas
fanatic.
Priest didn't make a list. I'm not.
No.
We should mention that. That's how this whole thing started. Is we were gonna do like all of Priest's 70s albums, like all their albums that came out in the 70s. We were looking at that, going, "This isn't really that exciting." Like, I tried. I listened to like the first two, and I was like, "Oh man."
The first two are a bad start if you're going to do that.
Yeah, I know, but even I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So then we, thought of this, which I think is much better.
Yeah.
It was a lot more fun.
What are a couple of
Well, yes.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but
let's
that didn't make the cut? That's what I was wondering.
okay,
Like,
for
what was on the edge?
For me, for me, when we all started this, like I had, as stated, Weather Report in there, and it's just like took no time for that to get dropped off because, as I stated, Miles Davis is the greatest American artist that will ever live. hailed by number 2, which also will not be refuted because that's Johnny Cash. And I'm just like, well, Johnny Cash has got to be on my list. And then I go over his albums, and it's just like, the Junkie the Juice Head minus me, which is, I've got that 7-inch, but the rest of the album doesn't have too many hits on it. Then there's Hello, My Name is Johnny Cash, and the another soundtrack, the soundtrack for the Johnny Cash show. Some of those, like, some good tunes, but nothing that surmounts like being the best of the decade. You know. So and then I'm like, okay, well, what other? I gotta have some country on here. And then I'm like, okay. And I look through everything on my, that I own. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Willie Nelson, Red-Headed Stranger. Jesus motherfucking Christ, of course. That's number 5 right there. Okay, I'm done. I'm set. Okay. And then I keep on, like, going through all my shit, and it's just like, how the hell is Bob Marley not fucking on here? Exodus is like his hallmark, but I go over Exodus, and I'm like, it's of course great, but it doesn't have the songs I want to fucking go crazy to, like Natty Dread or Burnin'. And those each have songs that I want to go crazy with, but the entirety of the albums don't do enough. And then you get to like, okay, I got to go for an album that fucking obliterates from start to finish. And that's when, there goes Cash. Nelson, Red-Headed Stranger, kicks ass from start to finish. But again, another soundtrack. Curtis Mayfield, fucking Superfly. Jesus motherfucking Christ. I throw that in. Okay, well, that's it. That's my number 5. God damn it. Fucking yes. Done. And then I even had, what the hell else? I had one other one like that hit. Yeah, it was just like, and all of a sudden then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That Jaco Pastorius album, that came out in the 80s, right? And then, oh, fuck. So, yeah, there went Curtis Mayfield and, God damn it. Down here. I mean, and another one we didn't even mention that it gets normally listed on one of the best albums of the 70s is Stevie Wonder, Songs of the Key of Life. Which
I thought about that one too, actually.
I don't own and haven't really listened to, so I can't.
Well, it's interesting. That's one that my son and I listened to recently. We've been doing this thing where we listen to albums together, and we listened to that one recently. And I was like, God, this is a fucking really good album. So I thought about it, but I was like, I don't. My problem is a lot of albums for me. I know the tracks, but I don't know the full album. Like I don't own it, and I've never like in our band. We've been doing a couple Heart songs recently, and they're both on the album Dreamboat Annie. It's a Magic Man and Crazy on You. Both songs are awesome and they're fun to play on guitar. And so I was looking at the album going, maybe, but I don't know any other song on that album. So I wouldn't know like, and it's a great album. I mean, those are 2 great songs, but I don't know the rest of it. So I couldn't include that. And that was my case with a lot of them. Like I thought about maybe I've been really digging into Talking Heads lately. So maybe I'll go back and look at their first 2 albums. But again, like Psycho Killer, I know that song, but I don't know a lot of their other early stuff.
Fear of Music, same with 77.
Yeah, I thought of ZZ Top. I'm like, well, I like a lot of ZZ Top, but again, I don't know a lot. I know a lot of the early, like I love LaGrange. I love a lot of the early songs, but I don't know a full ZZ Top album, so I can't include it. I think that's my issue is I don't have enough knowledge about the big, like the full albums from 1970s, So that's where I was running into a lot of issues with my list. So
yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's the same. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say definitely Boston. That first Boston album, that was right there. And then Moody Blues, like if there's anything, I didn't really dig too deep into it, but like there's probably some Moody Blues stuff. And then ELO was another one. I was like, God, gotta have some ELO.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I thought about that too, and I actually did look at one of their albums, but again, it was the same thing where I'm like, I know these songs, but I don't know like half the songs of this album.
That was the problem. With the Supertramp one was like, okay, I know almost all these songs. This is a classic album. The ELO stuff was more like, there's like 3 awesome songs, and the rest were like, yeah.
I did look at Hotel California too.
I mean, that's
of course the Eagles were in my head, but I'm like, that's why I want to stick with I chose to stick with the harder stuff because like there was Stevie Wonder, like Intervisions or Songs in the Key of Life, and and while I've heard the albums, I'm not like
Big
I
fan
wouldn't
of
say I'm like
fan of the.
they're not fresh in my mind. Like I haven't listened
Right.
to them in a long time. And then the Eagles, I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to. I feel like they are so quintessential 70s. That's
Yeah.
like they were so commercially huge. I don't know. I felt kind of weird picking them, even though I like a lot of those albums. And
Well, even
then
Hotel California, there's some songs on the album that I don't know. Like I'm looking at it right now, going, I'm not sure I know all these songs.
I gotta,
So,
I gotta look now.
oh, you never heard that whole album?
I have. I'm saying I don't know. Like if you told me what does "Victim of Love" sound like, I'd be like, I don't.
I know that song.
I know that song too.
Yeah.
I think that was it.
Or "Pretty Maids in a Row." I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
"Victims of Love." Actually, I think I do know that one. But like,
Yeah, you know, if you hear the
"Pretty
chorus, you're
Maids"
like, oh yeah.
all in a row. I don't know "Pretty Maids" all in a row. I don't.
I think if you
might.
played it, yeah,
You
you
probably
might
would.
know it. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Get in Town. Yeah, Life in
But yeah,
California,
there's just like so like it was like I think of something else, and then it would make me think of something else, and I'd be like, oh fuck. Then there's David Bowie, right?
Yeah.
And then and there's Rainbow.
Bowie,
Like I don't know Rainbow stuff as well as I probably should, or I would probably enjoy going through some of those albums
Right.
and do them. So I
Or
stuck kind
UFO.
of in my wheelhouse. Not kind of. I've stuck totally in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Had to. Yeah. If you didn't,
Yeah.
we'd be
Because I feel like if I picked something a little bit outside of it, I would be mad if I said, "Oh fuck, I forgot about this album later." Like
yeah.
so. If we had more time to like do an all inclusive or encompassing, retrospective of this, and I think we should probably revisit it at some point and have now that it's in our brain, maybe we'll start filtering through some of the older stuff more.
We could do best of the 80s.
Well, let's before we
That would be really hard.
That's the one
That would
thing.
be really
Like,
hard.
I know.
being the punk of this show in the decade that punk apparently started, even though MC5 and Iggy Pop, were from the 60s.
I was surprised that there were no punk. Yeah. There was
You look at me, look at my list. You got a soundtrack, you got a soul album, 2 fusion albums, and then Floyd.
Yeah.
I mean, I
was expecting something punk.
But I mean, exactly. Like from punk, you got obviously the Sex Pistols, Blondie, Parallel Lives, Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures. Let's face it, Buzzcock, Singles Going Steady, Another Music in a Different Kitchen, Love Bites, Ramones, Road to Ruin, Rocket to Russia, UK Subs, Another Kind of Blues, Talking Heads, as stated. Germs' initial album came out at that time. Black Flag, Nervous Breakdown EP, the only thing they put out in the 70s, barely, but that was the first thing that had Keith Morris of the Circle Jerks on it. Seriously, it's my favorite Black Flag stuff is just that. But it was just a 7-inch, so I just like comparing that to like Jaco Pastorius. Well, Greg Ginn is awesome, but it ain't that awesome.
Yeah. Did you, Joe? Did you think about "Rumors" by Fleetwood Mac? Did you think about that?
I didn't even consider Fleetwood Mac.
Did anyone consider CCR?
Probably for the same reason I didn't, and kind of in the same vein as the Eagles, just one of the huge bands,
Yeah.
with members who hated each other at times and kind of, a lot of cocaine.
Well, I just know that album is, you've mentioned like in the band. Like,
it's almost all hits on that album.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
It's kind of like Hotel California in that regard too.
Yeah.
And then there's like Genesis. Nobody brought up Genesis.
Lamb Lays Down on Wall Street is
Somebody mentioned the Police. I think Keith, you did, but
Regatta.
I didn't dig into any of their stuff. I think most of the Police stuff I would know is probably from the 80s anyway.
Yeah.
Regatta de Blanc is exactly. Most of their other stuff is from the 80s. Regatta de Blanc is 70s.
Well, I think that was the fun thing about this is that like if we did 80s, we'd know most of that stuff already. Like a lot of the 70s stuff, I didn't like, it was fun digging into some of these albums that I'd never really. I knew songs, but I didn't know full album,
To me, it was actually realizing that, oh shit, that came out in the 70s and not the 80s. Like to me, I'm a huge Tom Waits fan, but he had Small Change, Nighthawks at the Diner, and Closing Time. I own all 3 of those and love all 3 of those. And they definitely be in my top 15. Maybe not all 3 of them, but at least one of them I'd throw in there. But also
Yeah.
for me, like as stated, I love a lot of different genres. Disco fucking was the 70s.
Yeah.
AC and the Sunshine Band, I fucking love. And let's face it, we talk about soundtracks. All right, other soundtracks. I mentioned Curtis Mayfield with Superfly. We also have Shaft with Isaac Hayes. You have, Saturday Night Fever, which is seriously one of the best soundtracks. Fucking hit after hit. I mean,
And the whole like genre of funk, was huge in the 70s, right?
Earth,
So
Wind, and Fire. That's another one that.
another one.
Another
Yeah,
one that ended up
shit.
in number 5 was Gil Scott Heron, Pieces of a Man.
Chicago could have been in here.
Chicago.
Oh my God, Chicago.
My father's favorite band.
It's
you
my
guys-
dad's favorite band. It's my dad's favorite band too.
Our dad
Wow.
loved Chicago as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Peter Cetera, man.
Yeah.
So what do you say about CCR? Like, why did we kind of all groan at that?
Well, I like them. I just
I did too.
I like 'em
I just
too.
I don't feel like they have. I don't know. I shouldn't say that because their songs are well written. I think there's just something. It's so I don't know.
I mean,
I couldn't name like a name of
can't- I
the.
can't
Like,
s-
you asked me to name a
can't s-
CCR album. I don't think I can name
the
one of their
greatest hits
albums.
album.
Right.
Is it Cosmos Factory?
Cosmos Factory is the one. Yeah, that's the big one.
I think we do a bunch of
Yeah,
songs off of that one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, trust me, you don't touch anything they did after that.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
But we
I was
also
going to say their songs are simplistic, but I was like, well, so's AC/DC, and
Yeah.
it's not that. In fact, I'd say CCR songs are far more complicated than AC/DC songs in general. But I don't know. Maybe I don't give them enough credit. But
I also just want to state there are some women that should be mentioned here. Janis Joplin being
Sure,
the
yeah.
biggest one.
Was
But
she
also,
70s or 60s?
she
Pearl,
died. I thought she died in '69, didn't she?
I think Pearl was released in 70. So
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
When did she die?
So just
I
barely
mean,
made
yes,
the cut.
she
barely.
was recording that when she passed.
But Tina
Okay.
Turner. I
Uh,
mean, Jesus Christ.
Nina
She died in
Simone.
1970. So
Yeah,
Okay.
Nina Simone, Roberta Flack.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Blondie.
Hey, I mentioned Heart.
Dolly Parton probably had something out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Jolene. Fucking yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here talking about.
Never
country,
heard of
and
that
don't
one,
mention- don't mention Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's face it, music is a beautiful thing, and we should study our history. Even though we were all four of us were born in the 70s, we should dig more into it because regardless of, the fact that a big band like Judas Priest maybe didn't make anything fantastic in the 70s, they did make good music at some point or another.
The 80s would be tough because there's just like it's such a vast. Oh my God, that would be so hard.
Oh, yeah.
The top
Five.
I mean,
the top-
God.
You'd have to set limits on it, I think.
Exactly.
You have to say
How many
Yeah,
Metallica
you have to
albums?
set genres.
How many
You have to
Metallica
set
albums would
genres
all three
probably.
of you have?
Just you would pick one Metallic album.
Yeah, it'd be Master of Puppets, but then like, okay,
You pick Somewhere in Time.
I'm fixed somewhere. Like, yeah, I mean, we've talked about a lot of these albums too. So,
Yeah.
But I mean, after that, it's kind of like, all right, well, make it a little more interesting.
yeah, that's true. I said those two would be.
I mean,
pretty
for
interesting.
me, I'd
What
have
picks would
Minor
be.
Threat. I'd have Dead Kennedys.
Right. You go more punk,
Yeah.
hardcore stuff. I mean, it's, be Metallica.
Mags.
We'd have to do a top 10 and
Bad
make it like a
Brains, motherfucking
four-part
Bad
episode.
Brains.
Yeah, it might have to be top 10.
I mean, that would be maybe top 30.
We'd be recording all day.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's what I'm
that
saying.
would-
To be like
yeah.
a 4-part episode, we have to break it up into.
It'd be a live. It have to be a live stream for charity.
I mean, seriously.
All
Wait,
day.
time out. When we were first talking about doing this like decade thing, I'm like, fucking no way in hell could I isolate that much into just 5. So maybe if we were talking about the 80s, we could do year by year. Because
Or
I'm
80
sorry, but
to 83 or something like that.
Well, you do
Yeah,
half,
that's a good idea.
maybe,
85,
maybe.
yeah.
But let's face it. I enjoyed. I Jesus Christ, did I fucking have a blast
Yeah, it was
listening
fun.
to this much Bob Marley and throwing in some fucking Woody Nelson, Woody Nelson.
Woody
Woody
Nelson.
Nelson?
Yes, edit that out. Willie Nelson,
That's his cousin.
but listen to some. I even throw out some disco because I do love some disco.
Yes, throw out the disco, please.
I listened to disco, motherfucker.
Not a
ABBA.
Still, this was just listening to really great albums over and over again. Listening to a few albums like the Bob Marley stuff. Of course I've heard Exodus a billion times, but I don't think I've ever listened to Burnin' or Natty Dread all the way through.
I think Exodus should have named an album Bob Marley just to even things up.
Well, I mean, Tim, when was the last time you threw in Nothing Sacred by David Allan Coe? Or, I mean, I guess you have that every single week.
He just walks out in his back porch and hears it blasting.
Yeah,
all the trailers down the hill from him.
There's no trailers down there.
Well, they're trailer people.
I mean, I
They're
guess,
just in houses.
Eric, where you live, it's Liberace. Huh?
What?
Liberace plays. Big 70th album.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
What are you talking about?
We don't know. It seems like somebody here knows his collection a lot more than any of us do. So if there's a fan, I think it might be you, Keith.
It's like his secret trickster stash over there.
Yeah.
Well, I do love me some Village People. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's also other top fives we could do that are outside of.
Nobody brought
Decades.
up Queen either. That was
Oh my God,
you're right.
that's kind of
Ooh.
embarrassing, right?
That is kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
But then, okay,
I mean, they are
Yeah, my
phenomenal.
son's gonna kill me for that.
They are
'cause
phenomenal.
That's like
This is why we're gonna have to do a
time out.
part two
Not
of
only,
this at some
not
point.
only
Night
did
at the
Queen not
Opera.
get brought up in anyone's top five, we didn't even get to Queen in like the.
Well, I know. Well, we
I
did just
have
barely.
Queen
mention
written
it.
down here.
Yeah,
I don't. What's a Queen album from the 70s? Like name the.
Night at the Opera.
I have
Sheer Heart Attack, isn't that from
Sheer
the
Heart Attack.
80s?
Yeah,
probably from the 80s.
Like I think like half their stuff was from the 70s, wasn't it?
Gotta be.
It's a band that I like. I don't own any. Well, I own 2 Queen CDs. But I don't. Like if I was going to a record store, I'm not going to the Queen section. I'm not.
That's true.
Yeah, it's, Queen,
they're great,
2, Sheer
but
Heart Attack.
Sheer Heart Attack is heavy. Like that's
Yeah,
almost.
first
like
Oh
a-
albums.
yeah. It's super heavy.
Oh my God, shitload of albums.
That's what I mean. Like I don't know much about their 70s catalog. I couldn't even tell you what's on what album. I don't know.
It's probably worth studying that.
I should know that. It's embarrassing that I don't. I'm not saying it's a good thing that I don't know that, but I don't.
They have an album called Jazz.
All right.
Yes.
Jizz?
How do I not know
Jizz.
that?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Fat Bottom Girls on that.
Also,
Don't
they
Stop Me
got
Now
the
is on that.
Flash Gordon soundtrack, but that's an 80.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
God, I thought that was
What's
so
that?
good when I was a kid.
Flash.
Oh, I loved it. It was so good. I had that record.
He'll save every one of us.
That's right.
Destroy
Sound
the universe.
effects.
Oh yeah. We watched that movie like I don't know 4 or 5 years ago. We were going to see something the next day, like a Star Wars movie or something, and we're like let's watch one of these old '70s sci-fi movies just to see. Oh my God, it was so bad,
Oh yeah.
so bad.
I'm guessing it did not hold up.
No, I mean no, not at all.
Yeah.
Special effects were terrible.
The guy,
But
the bad,
then
the bad guy.
you watch Star Wars, and it's
Was it the Ming the Merciless?
Yeah,
Was that
Ming.
the bad-
yes.
That was the guy
Yeah, but-
that played. What was the dude in Force Awakens? Lord Shanteca.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Same guy.
First guy in the movie. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Cool shit. Don't forget cool shit.
We're not doing that this episode.
We don't need to do cool shit unless you got something really cool.
No.
Wait, time. Well, I do have something pretty fucking cool. Like
Fucking
Okay.
better be.
my old band, that one I mentioned that was
Oh,
only
yeah.
around
Oh, I
from
saw this,
2000
yeah.
2005. We played a show
heard about
last
this.
April, and we recorded it. And after we got off stage, I was like, fuck yes. And of course we had, we had it recorded from the board. We had video recordings. We had someone else recording it from somewhere else. And man, it's just like, yeah, it's just like, man, this is going to be incredible. The entire thing we need to release. And then I heard the recording.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we had to cut some stuff out.
Uh-oh.
Turns out, like, when you're doing a live recording, you probably just want to stand there like the Ramones did and never move. And, also you want to be younger and have practiced a lot more. You don't want to have, the band broke up in 2005. We played another show for my bachelor party in 2011. And I think that was it. And then we played a show in 2023, so that's what was recorded and put on to vinyl. So we are releasing our live album recorded last year. And, as much as I'm downplaying myself because I'm always going to, it's still, hey, it's 3-chord thrash punk. It's sloppy and it's how we are. And, one way or another, go to DCPC or DCXPC Live is who's putting it out. It's my drummer's record label.
Are you going to have
yes. So go to
people in Alexandria press it?
DCXPClive.com, and if you feel like getting a hold of it, go ahead and go there. Huh?
Is Furnace going to press the vinyl?
No, it's Scott. Man, Scott's got somebody that presses it somewhere, probably in Florida.
Oh.
But one way or another, it's right now we're doing pre-release. If anyone wants to hear what I sound like screaming at the top of my lungs, not that you haven't already heard that on these episodes at some point or another. But
DCX what? What's that website again?
DCXPClive.com.
When's the Instinct Slaves to Society reunion tour?
Hey, you got that discount code? You can text me.
I could.
Yeah,
I could talk to Scott. I don't know what to do.
No, it's okay. I'm going to support you fully.
Right.
As I often do, I'm going to buy a record while on the show.
Okay.
All right. Well, that was fun. We'll have to figure out another top 5 to do soon. For Tim and Keith and Joe, this is Eric saying,
thank you. Good fucking night. Energy, aggression, power. To sum it up, it's a vulgar display of power.
Sometimes I think you drink just a little too much blood.
I'm sorry, I'm going to PA. Bloodaholics Anonymous.
Cutting it up big time.
They are miserable slaves of Satan.
Some cunt's recording this.